Hello and welcome to Pearls of Paradise. My name is Courtney and I'm coming to you from Parma, Ohio, where I live with my husband, Mason, and all of our yarn. Today is Friday, September 26th, and I'm really glad that you're joining me to chat about some knitting and crafting and just, to have some fun. So welcome if you're new here and a huge welcome back if you're returning. You can find everything I talk about as well as all the places that I am on the internet down below, including Finch, Pokemon Go, Instagram, all the things. And you can also find a link to our Ravelry group for this podcast where I am hosting the Giant Mini Mal 2025. Basically a make-along where you use your leftovers, use your scraps, make something pretty, and enter to win prizes. I do draw prizes quarterly, and we're nearing the end of September. So that is the end of the third quarter. Get your prizes in by the end of the day, September 30th, for a chance at a fourth quarter prize. And I don't know what those will be yet. We will see. I'm debating on whether it'll be a pattern or yarn. I don't know yet. I don't know. We'll see. Anyways, I'll draw those and announce them next time. Let's get right into it. I have already recorded this episode once, and the lighting was horrible. Like, you really couldn't see anything. It was really bad. So we are recording the entire thing again. I don't know how my voice is going to do. That's a lot of talking. But I'm hoping maybe I can condense it now that I've done it once and I've adjusted our lighting situation. So hopefully it will be better. Okay, let's get right into it. First things first, I have one finished object, and it was a collaboration. I'm super excited about it. It is my brainchild of a garland. Mason, my husband, who crochets, and I made this little cookie ghost Halloween garland for the archway above our dining room. I'm going to insert some pictures here. It's hanging over there. It is so stinking cute. I'm so proud of it. It was really fun to collaborate on. So much work, but a lot of fun too. So I went on a mission weeks ago that I decided I wanted to make a fall or Halloween decoration out of things that we already had on hand at home. I wanted to spend $0 on this project. We are doing frugal fall over here for sure. So I wanted to do something ghost themed because Nicole of Witch and Knittin' Mama, please go give her a follow, is hosting the Emotional Support Ghost Make-Along over on Instagram. It's super fun. This is her second year doing it. I forget what all I made last year. I know I made a blouse with ghost fabric. I might have done something else, like baked something in the shape of a ghost. I don't remember, but it's open to any kind of medium. Sewing, knitting, crochet, baking, perler beads, painting, whatever, which is super cool. So check that out. I think it runs through the end of October. I could be wrong on the end date, but definitely go check it out. So this is our first entry for this year, and I love it. So I made the ghosts. I took cardboard and I freehanded a ghost, cut out a template from cardboard, traced that onto a piece of felt. I wanted white, but I didn't have white. But I did have this beige color, which made me think the ghosts can be cookies because why not? And traced those. And then each ghost is 2 pieces of felt. I blanket stitched the edges, which took forever. And I also didn't really have enough embroidery floss in any one color that wasn't already like earmarked for a certain project to do all of them the same color. So we have 2 pink ones, which I'm calling strawberry flavored ghosts, 1 yellow one, which is lemon flavored, and 1 that has white stitching, which that one's just like a cream filled ghost. And then I just Sharpied faces on and they are quite possibly the cutest things I have ever made. I love them. And then Mason crocheted the bats and the pumpkins. I love how they turned out. He hated crocheting the bats. He did not enjoy that at all, but he did like crocheting the pumpkins. So while I definitely don't want to make this garland again, I love it so much. It will bring me so much joy for years to come, but I don't want to make another one. And neither does he, because he did not enjoy the bats. I do think he might make a bunch of pumpkins, just the little pumpkins, and we might do some other small garlands above other doorways or mirrors or something, because we just want to add whimsy to every single little corner of our house. That's the goal. So anyway, that is my one and only finished object. Oh, and I strung it on some crochet thread that has like a metallic bit running through it, which gives a really fun effect. It like sparkles a bit, but also when the light is dim, it just looks like everything is floating, like nothing's there, like there's no string. So it's pretty cool. Anyways, very pleased with that. That is my only finished object, so we'll go ahead and move into whips. You are probably wondering why I have this very not aesthetically pleasing box on the table today, and I will show you. But first, we have to get to what's in the box, and we'll have to go through some whips to get to it. So I have no knitting finished objects. I really thought this one was going to be a finished object today, and it obviously is not. So I am making, and I spoke about this last time, and I'm about to talk about something called Single Skein September. You say you've never heard of Single Skein September? I'm not surprised. That's because I made it up at the beginning of September and just decided I was going to try to work through as many single skeins that don't have a match, just one pretty single skein, or one skein that I got on clearance somewhere, or one skein I bought to support a dyer, or whatever. Those skeins that are just sitting around. There's one of them. That's what we're doing. So I am making the Leapfrog mittens out of Knit Happy with Self-Striping Yarns by Stephanie Lotven, who is also Telly Bean Knits. And here's a picture in the book of the mittens. They are super cute, and they have been really, really fun to knit. So why aren't they done? I don't know. I don't know. I do know. I only have a little bit left to go on the second mitt. You guys will see. All I need to do, this is the second mitt. The progress keeper is just so that I could keep track of which side was the right side. That's not where I was last time. I don't even know that I had this one cast on last time. If I did, I wasn't very far into it. I just have to close up the top and knit the thumb. It's not even going to take very long, and that is honestly why this isn't done. I knit on the go a lot, and when I'm home, I want to reach for something a little bit bigger, but this is not enough for me to take with me because I'll finish it too fast. Does that make sense? It makes sense to me because I live my life, but I don't know if it makes sense to anyone else. So I should just do this evening or this afternoon, but it probably won't happen. I also didn't mention, it's almost 4 o'clock in the afternoon today when I'm recording this. I normally record early in the morning, and I had kind of decided I wasn't going to record today. I felt like taking it off. So I did. And then mid-afternoon, I was like, nope, I feel like recording. I want to record, which is fine. But, you're getting afternoon Courtney, and that is like not the best version of me. So it is what it is. But this is the first one, and it's done. It's lovely. It fits great. This is Knit Picks Felici in the colorway Solstice, And then this is Malabrigo, I don't know the base, in the colorway Lettuce. This one is like deep stash. This was just a leftover. And then this technically is leftover. It's not technically a full 50 gram skein. I had knit socks out of this last year and had barely dipped into my second skein. So I had almost an entire skein left over, which I make the rules for single skein September. I made it up. I get to make the rules. And so I decided it counts. I just need to finish this. I just need to find it within myself to sit down and finish it, which I really want this done by the end of September, which is coming very, very quickly. Only a few more days. So we'll see if that happens. It should. There's no reason it shouldn't, but life happens, you know. So this week, moving on to the next one, was the autumnal equinox on the 22nd. And I always cast on a new project for the equinoxes and solstices, just as a fun way to mark the seasons. And I cast on the Chamomile Cowl by Cuddle Bunny Knits. This pattern had been in my library and in my queue since like, I don't know, spring or summer of 2020. And I've been wanting to knit it, but it has bobbles. Like that's the whole point. It has these lovely chunky bobbles, which you can't really see because mine are not lovely. They are not turning out the way that I had hoped. So the last time I knit bobbles was in 2020. And I did not enjoy it, and I didn't think they came out very well. But it's 5 years later. I thought, well, I'm a different knitter now. I'm a better knitter. I'm a more experienced knitter. I'm sure there'll be no problem. I have pulled this out several times and reknit it several times. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. I have looked up videos. I have done all the little tips and tricks. I keep getting these huge holes, and I don't know if just because of the large gauge, if that's just going to happen. Some of my bobbles are nice, and like this one's pretty like round and perky, but then like this one is flat. That one's actually not too bad. I have some that are like, what is this? Like, look, this is just like a weird nub. What is that? So here's the thing. I really want this cowl. I think it's so cute. This is just one skein that I had of Lion Brand Thick and Quick woolies in the colorway Cranberry. And I really want it out of my stash. And I thought this would be a really cute cowl. Nice for like Christmas time. It's blowing out a bit. It is not quite that red. It is more this color here. So a very beautiful cranberry Christmassy red. I really would love this. You guys, these bobbles though, like I don't know what I'm doing wrong. I don't know what the problem is. I don't know. I've only been working on it for a few days. So I don't know. I don't know what to do. So I have a few options. I can keep ripping this out and reknitting it and hoping that I can figure out how to get the bobbles the way that I want them. And I have done all the things that everybody says to do. I have tightened the stitch before and after, the one above. Like I've done all the things that I know to do. I don't know. I've changed my tension. I don't know. So if you have tips, please leave them down below. But anyways, I could rip it out and keep reknitting it till I'm happy with it and then continue on. I could frog it and do something else with this, which is a possibility, but I still really wanted to make this cowl. And there are other patterns that have bobbles. I would like to, I would like to be a bobble knitter that is somewhat okay at them, Or I could like just accept that this is not going to be the most lovely bobbled thing and keep going and use it as like a learning project. I don't know. I'm not totally opposed to any of these ideas. I just want my baubles to be beautiful, and they are not. So I don't know. Like, do you have tips? This is the recommended yarn, so it's not like it's like the yarn isn't correct for baubles. And in the photos of, there's only 2 projects other than mine on Ravelry. But those and the designer, like their baubles are gorgeous. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. So if you have thoughts, tips, whatever, please let me know down below. If you are a like bauble aficionado, I would love to hear from you, because I don't know, and baubles are not fast. At least I am not fast at knitting baubles. So this like little bit here is taking me forever. I kind of thought it would be done in like a couple of days, and no. So anyways, what should I do? Tell me. So that's my autumn equinox cast on, autumnal equinox, whatever. And I don't know. I don't know what we're going to do with that. I'm a little frustrated. So we'll see. You know what I'm not frustrated with? My next whip. So if you have been with me for a little bit, you know that back in August, I finished so many whips. I was really pleased with myself. I gave myself permission to cast on all the things because single skein September that I made up. Because if you need excuses, you should just make up a month and then you can just do it. It's fine. So I cast on a week ago, I think, the Ruska, I have no idea how you say it, by Joanna Ignatius. And this is another one that could have been a finished object, but I just haven't picked it up in a few days. But it's this beautiful, I think it's a fisherman's rib hat, and you do a little thing so that the pattern shows on the outside of the brim as well as the outside of the cap portion. It is a single skein of fingering weight held double with mohair. Or held with mohair. No. You hold the fingering weight skein. That's right. I didn't mention this the first time I recorded, so see, it's good that I'm doing this. You hold the fingering weight double plus your strand of mohair. So your 3 strands, which makes this delicious, like, super squishy, cozy fabric. It's eating up this skein of yarn, which makes me very happy. And I really, really like how it's coming out. This is another one, like, I could probably finish this in an hour and a half, maybe. Oh, the phone is ringing, but I'm going to pause this and make sure it's not important. One moment. Wrong number. Okay, so back to the Ruska, whatever this is. It is a really simple, really fun knit. I am absolutely loving it. I could probably finish this in about an hour and a half. Yeah, so let's talk about the yarn. So the mohair, which it's funny, I have a lot of mohair from different brands in this very light purple, which is, it's just really funny. But this is Drops Kid Silk Mohair, and this one was sent to me by one of you, so thank you. You know who you are. And I'm holding it with, this is a skein of Reliant sock is the base, and it's by HanaMadeIt. She has not dyed in years, but I love her yarn, but it's all very deep stash at this point. So I'm trying to go through and use it up. And this was the main skein from a July countdown that was Steel Magnolia's theme. So I think this was like Strong as Steel or something is the colorway, I think. Doesn't matter, you can't get it anymore, but yeah, and it is beautiful. I think it's just stunning. A part of me regrets putting it in something with mohair because I think it would be really pretty on its own, but I also love what it's doing in the hat. So I worked on this one day, and then Mason came home and looked at it, and he's like, oh yeah, the mohair doesn't really make a difference. It looks the same. But then I held these up side by side, and he's like, oh, there's no purple in the main skein. And I'm like, no, there's not any purple. So it's pretty cool. And I don't knit with mohair very often. I don't even hold stuff double very often. But I'm trying to, I have stuff I want to use up. So I'm trying to expand and get outside of my little comfort zone and box. And part of why I don't always hold mohair is I'm like, oh, it's so pretty, and it'll change the way the yarn looks. You know, I don't know. Is this just me? Is this a me hang up? It's probably a me thing. But where I'll be like, well, the dyer spent all this time getting this just the way they wanted, and it's so pretty. I don't want to wreck it with mohair. But like, look how pretty this is. This is also really pretty. Like, I love that. And to be honest, of the two of them, I think this one works a little better with my skin tone than this does. This is a little too close to skin for me, but this with the purple undertone is really, really nice. So I don't know. We're trying things. So this is my single skein, and even though I'm holding two together, which kind of makes it not a single skein project, this was a single skein, so we're counting it because I make the rules. Because I made the whole thing up. Let me see if I can. So I'm kind of put it on. See how close I am to being done with this? Like, actually, I probably could start the crown. Probably should start the crown now. I'm glad I'm doing this. It is so warm. I think my husband has already said, he's like, that's going to be your hat that you gravitate towards, the one that you grab all the time this winter. And I think he's right. I kind of want to make another one. I don't know. I could see myself making a few of these for gifts. I don't know, but I pretty much only have purple, so I don't know. Knowing me, I won't. I don't tend to make the same thing a bunch of times, but although I think Mason kind of wants one, so I'll have to find something that he'll like that I can use the purple with, that it won't be too weird. So anyway, I have talked and babbled about this project. I believe this is a free pattern over on Ravelry. Go check it out. It is really good, really squishy, and a great way to use up a single skein. Okay, let's move on. I guess this is my last whip. You've been so patient. Do you want to know why I have an ugly old, like, box here? This is my fancy project bag, guys. This is it. So, story time. This is kind of a rambly story time, but we'll start with why I cast this on. So, and what I cast on. But before we get to that, I have to tell you what I've been watching. So we love Only Murders in the Building. Love that show. It is the only show that we actually keep up with. Like, when a new season comes out, it's our fall tradition. We watch the episode when it, like, not the day it comes out because it's never a day that we're available, but every Friday night in the fall, we make a treat dinner. And what a treat dinner is, it's something that, like, how do I put this? Like, normally I make us nice, well-rounded, balanced dinners, balanced meals. You know, we've got our vegetables, we have our protein, we have, like, they're balanced, nice meals. But treat dinner is different. Treat dinner sometimes is that, but sometimes it's something like nachos, or sometimes it's takeout, or a charcuterie board, or something that is like not what we would normally have, but that's kind of a treat. Feels like it's not always, sometimes it's pizza, not always, not usually even, but it kind of has that, like when you were a kid, if you had like a pizza night in your family, like Friday night pizza night or something, like it has that feeling where you get home from school, and this is probably very much like a growing up in the 90s thing. You get home from school, you walk in the door, mom's there, and you've got either pizza or some other like fun dinner. And then like you sit down as a family and watch a movie or something like that. Although our movie night was usually Sunday night because that was when The Wonderful World of Disney was on. Anyways, I digress. But that kind of vibe, that kind of feeling. And I feel like there's something so special about that in the fall specifically. Like very much that back to school, it's the fall, it's Friday, it's the weekend. It's not the weekend for me, but you know, for most people. And yeah, that's the vibe. That's the aesthetic. That's what we're going for. We've got our fall decorations out. I made years ago these little lanterns that are mason jars with like fake leaves Mod Podged on the inside and little battery powered tea lights in them. We light all our lanterns. Anyway, it's a whole thing. And we sit down and we have our treat dinner and we watch Only Murders in the Building. But I also need knitting because I'm me. So I realized that I needed to have something that I could grab that I didn't need to think about for our Only Murders in the Building nights. This is the time of year that we actually watch TV, like shows, instead of like watch stuff that we're paying attention to. We don't do that most of the year, but we do in the fall. So I wanted something that I didn't need to pay attention to. How I decided on the project, which I'll get to in a second. I have so much Lion Brand Homespun. And I used to use this for like headbands. I've knit a couple scarves and things out of this. It is not the easiest or most fun yarn to work with. It's really soft, it's really pretty, but it's not fun to work with. I have a ton of this. Some of it is yarn that I had left over from when I made headbands. Some of it is yarn that people have just given me. I inherited like 4 or 5 skeins of this color when we moved my grandma out of her apartment earlier this year, which is why it's in this box, because all of that yarn was in this box, plus some other that I've taken out and put in stuff that was mine or whatever. Anyway, I want to use this up. Did I have any business casting on another blanket? I have 3 going that I have not touched in quite some time. I absolutely had no business doing this. Did I do it anyway? Yeah, I sure did. So I am knitting the Garter Squish, and I am in the middle of a row. These are long rows. The Garter Squish by Stephen West. I believe it's a free pattern. And you hold a skein of bulky, double with a skein of worsted to knit this. So I am holding the Lion Brand Homespun, double with various white and off-white yarn, acrylic yarn from Stash. So this should really eat up a lot of yarn. I am just going to keep going with it until I completely run out of yarn. I want to use up every last little inch of the yarn that I have. I really would love to get this all out of my stash. And I would love a soft, cozy, fun blanket. So I am calling this my Only Murders in the Blanket because we love a good pun around here. Or play on words or whatever we're going to call that. And yeah, I cast on way more than the recommended amount of stitches, but I don't know the exact number. I did count it at one point and then promptly forgot what it was. So super easy, mindless project. It is so squishy. It is just Garter with like an I-cord edge. It is not perfect. I do not care. I'm mostly knitting this in the dark. So there's a couple spots like where the white didn't quite catch or whatever. I don't care. It's fine. And it's lovely. And this is a super fun project. So I'm planning to stripe it and just go, go, go. So that is what I've been working on in the evenings. I only have this little bit of this particular pink skein left. And then I will move on to one of the Mediterranean skeins. I'm sure that'll happen this evening. And that's all I have to share as far as knitting goes. Reading and watching, I am going to work that back in. I am only going to talk about what I am currently reading. I talked about this a little bit last time. Zipper needs so many ends, and I have not been creating enough ends to stuff Zipper, and I'm really committed to only stuffing him with yarn ends. So I know I have some other, what I call ugly yarn, like really old acrylic yarn in my stash that like somebody gave me that is a color I would never use or whatever. I already had a huge ball that I snipped into ends and stuffed him with. It didn't even make a dent. He's big. He's big. And there are so many books that are not in him yet. Zipper is my book snake for another make-along, also hosted by the lovely Nicole of Witch and Knittin' Mama. Basically, you knit a snake and you stripe it for the books that you're reading or whatever. And I am reading so much more than I have the last couple of years, which is so good. So good. I am loving that. It's making me so happy, but I can't keep up. So anyways, Zipper's in a little bit of a timeout. I'm working on getting ends. That was another big motivation for Single Skein September, is I'm getting some ends out of that, which is great. And Mason is donating his crocheted ends to that too. So anyway, I am going to, some of you've asked me to bring back reading and watching, so we're bringing that back. So we'll start with watching. Like I said, Only Murders in the Building. We did finish watching Wednesday, both seasons. Loved it. Such a good show. Really, really enjoyed it. Way more than I thought it would. I'm very sorry I slept on that show for so long, but it was really good. And now we started watching Pretty Little Liars, which I watched back in the day. I think it came out in 2010. So 15 years ago, I was in college. I watched it, I think up through the third season, maybe, or partway through the third season, maybe fourth. I don't know. And then life got busy and I just never went back to it. So I had seen it on one of those lists of like fall recommendations. And I thought, oh yeah, I love that show. It was on for 7 seasons. I didn't even see half of it. We should totally watch it. We have gotten 3 or 4 episodes in, and I don't know if we will. I think we're going to give it a few more to see. I don't know if we're going to see it through. We may swap to something else. So there is a period of time where things are not retro or vintage. They're not cool again. And they're not current, so they're also not cool. And there's this middle ground where things are not cool because they're too old to be cool, but they're too new to be vintage or retro. And I feel like this show lands squarely in that dated time frame. Probably in another 10, 15 years, it'll be like the coolest thing. Well, I'll be dressing like them again, whatever. But it's squarely in that dated time frame right now. So, I don't know. It's very much filmed in the style that all of the teen dramas were filmed at that time. The lighting, the makeup, the everything. And it also is very clear to me. So 2010 was like still in that time frame where not everybody had a flat screen TV. A lot of people had the plasma TVs or just a regular analog. And I mean, I watched this mostly either on my laptop because I was at college, or in the summer, my sister-in-law, Mason's sister, and she wasn't my sister-in-law at the time. She's my boyfriend's sister. We would watch it in like their parents' basement. And I don't remember if that was on an analog TV or a flat screen. I actually don't remember. But regardless, like, it was a TV from 15 years ago. Well, on our large 4K TV, it does not look the same. And part of it is it's 15 years later, so it doesn't look the same. And it's very much, if you don't know what Pretty Little Liars is, these girls, their friend disappears, and then, her remains are found a year later. They're all 16. And when she's found, and they're unraveling the mystery of what happened to her, and they start getting these mysterious texts from someone named A, and they're not sure, is it this girl that disappeared? Is it the person that took her? Is it someone else entirely? So the mystery, like, at the time, kept me so hooked. I love a mystery. I love a thriller. I love all of that. And it's not hooking me. And I think part of it is I know what happens, at least the first couple of seasons. So I'm less hooked. I don't know if we're going to keep going with it. There's a lot of drama. There's a lot of, interpersonal stuff. A lot of, like, very dramatic. I don't know. It's very dramatic. Which also, the acting isn't as good as I remember it being either. So I don't know, which that might get better as things go on. Sometimes those first few episodes are rough. We'll see. We will see. So we might stick with that. We might not. Stay tuned. I will keep you posted. So that's what we've been watching. Reading. I am currently reading Butcher and Blackbird by Bryn Weaver. And this was recommended to me by several of my knitting podcast friends. I know Amber of Ambi Marie Knits was one that recommended it. Maybe a couple of other people. I don't remember. Anyways, so I have like less than 100 pages left to go. And I don't know. I don't dislike it. I don't love it either. It is a dark romance. Full disclosure, I'm not a huge spice person. Like, I'm not a prude, but I don't gravitate towards spice at all. I'm a big thriller mystery. Like, I love suspense. And this book doesn't have a lot of suspense, to be honest, which it looks like from the cover that it would, but it actually doesn't have that much. I don't know. I like the characters. The characters are fun. If you like the TV show Dexter, which I've also never actually seen, but I know what it's about. This, might be more your jam. And that sounds like a show I would like. We've just never watched it. Instead, we're over here watching Pretty Little Liars. Anyway, I digress. So yeah, I don't know. It's pretty spicy. It's pretty spicy, which I knew going into it. So it wasn't a huge surprise. But if you are not a spice person, I would skip it. But if you do like spice and darker things, this might be for you. It also has a lot of humor in it, which sounds like it would be a good thing, and I think for most people it would be, but I actually don't really like books that are funny most of the time. I know that's strange. I really like books that are more serious. And I have read, and I think this is why, I think this might be one of those I'm reading it at the wrong time. I've read several books that were like dark with like a lot of humor over the past couple of months. There were 3 of them. Eat, Slay, Love, which I did really like that one. Matchmaking for Psychopaths, which I thought was okay. And I don't remember what the third one was. But the third one was my least favorite of the 3. Had like a Thelma and Louise kind of vibe. I know it came out this year. It's got like an orange and purple cover. I don't know the name of it. But if you would like to know the name of it, though, you can head over to the Story Graph, and I'm on there. That is where I'm tracking my reading. I will be getting rid of my Goodreads. I was able to get my whole library over to Story Graph, and I really prefer that. So just know I have barely posted anything on Goodreads this year because it's just not my preferred format, and I am moving on to Story Graph. So if you want to keep up with what I'm reading, friend me on there. My code and stuff is down below. So yeah, I don't know. I don't dislike it. Would I read another one? It's a trilogy. Would I read the next one? Probably, because I do really like the characters and I want to see what happens to them. Is this like my favorite book ever? No. So that's where I'm at. It's fine. It's fine. Not bad. It's fine. I started this a while ago, and then I accidentally left it in my locker last Thursday at work. And then the Friday I woke up with a migraine, so unfortunately I didn't go in, which meant I had no book until Monday. I didn't have this book back till Monday. So I have been having Mason choose like the next book I read out of my pile of library books. And yes, it's a huge pile. I work at a library. I mean, your girl brings home books. And he chose Every Vow You Break by Peter Swanson. This one kept me hooked. This one was a lot of suspense. I did see a lot coming, but it is about a young woman named Abigail, and she is getting married. She does get married in the book, and her husband picks the honeymoon locale and stuff, but she has a secret, and her secret is that during her bachelorette weekend, she slept with someone that was not her spouse. So she has decided she's not going to tell her spouse. She got it out of her system. She's moving on. She's getting married. She's doing the thing. So they get to the honeymoon locale, and this is not a typical honeymoon destination. It is this little island off the coast of Maine, and her husband's a billionaire. I forgot to mention that. And it's this little private island off the coast of Maine, and that's a resort. But there's something really off about this island and the guests that are there and the staff, and it's all very eerie. And she keeps hearing from and seeing the person who she slept with. And that's all I'm going to tell you, but it's very mysterious. It's very thriller, a lot of suspense. I really enjoyed it. I loved the setting, this like eerie kind of creepy island that used to be a summer camp, especially since it was set in like off the coast of Maine. I really liked it. So if that sounds more like your vibe, I would recommend that one. You know, it is dark, it is twisty. If dark and twisty is not your cup of tea, then don't do that one. But I really liked it. I really enjoyed it. I had a lot of trouble putting it down. So that's what I've been reading. That's what I've been watching. Life stuff. We have had a busy fall so far, and most of it has not been very fun. We are still over here practicing Frugal Fall, Fairytale Fall, adding as much whimsy as we can on a low budget because all of our Saturdays so far have been spent either taking our car in or getting a washer delivered or with dental appointments or things like that. The next couple of Saturdays will be the same kind of thing. So we're not getting out and doing much, which is a bummer, but we did go to a fall festival last weekend. I do have a fall vlog kind of in the works, but it's not coming together as quickly as I had hoped because we have not done as many fall things. So there's that. I have also been gaming a lot. Disney Dreamlight Valley has an update coming out on this coming Wednesday, a free update, so I will be playing a lot of that. I also got back into Stardew Valley and have been pretty obsessed with it for the last week, and then Mason ended up buying it so that we can play together. We haven't yet, but we're ready to. So, been doing a lot of that. Just, yeah, I don't know. That's pretty much it. Time is flying by so fast, friends. Like, before you know it, it's going to be the end of the year. Yeah. So, Pocket of Delight. That was my other thing. If you follow me on Instagram, you have probably noticed on days that I work, I post in my stories about our display of the day. This is something some of my colleagues and I started up over the summer, where we find a really fun, out of the box, most of the time, national, international, or world holiday. You know, every day is a holiday if you look hard enough. And we throw together a display for that. Like I said, I work at a public library, so we pull books, we go borrow stuff from the children's department, or sometimes we bring things in from home and we create a little display around the theme of the day. So, like one day last week was Addams Family Day. It was the anniversary of the premiere of the Addams Family, so we got out all the Addams Family stuff. Earlier this week was Hobbit Day, so we got all the Lord of the Rings stuff out. We did, back in August, I believe, Glenn Bell's birthday, who is the founder of Taco Bell, and we made a Taco Bell themed display, and it's super fun. It's bringing me so much joy. You can check out in my stories for those. I post them, like I said, each day that I work. Not posting today because I'm not at work, but today is either National or International Dumpling Day. So if the display is up when I get to work tomorrow, I'll take a picture of that. And then tomorrow is International Rabbit Day. So I'll be putting together a rabbit themed display. And it just makes the day so whimsical, so fun. We are learning so much about each of these days, each of these topics, doing little deep dives. It has just been bringing so much joy to my life. It's bringing joy to our patrons, and it's just really great. So that's my little pocket of delight for this week. And that is that. We're just adding in the whimsy and Fairytale fallen over here. And I hope that you all have a great couple of weeks. Please comment down below. Let me know what in the world to do with my chamomile cowl. If you are a bauble aficionado, I want to hear from you. If you just have an opinion, I want to hear that too. Get your entries in for the giant mini mal over on Ravelry. And yeah, I hope that you all find some time to do some things that bring you joy over the next couple of weeks, whether that be baking or reading or walking or sewing or knitting or skydiving, whatever it is that brings you joy in your little corner of paradise. And I will be over here knitting and gaming and just whimsying away in my little corner of paradise. I will see you next time, friends. Bye.